Hello party people, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Tori, and for today's video we will be talking about the Met Gala. The day I'm posting this should be Monday, and I know it's already been a week since the Met Gala happened, and I fear this topic may have fallen out of relevance in our collective consciousness, which is kind of worrisome. But this video is not to critique any of the looks. It's not even to talk about if any of the looks even match the theme. I really wanted to talk about the trends that I noticed on the Met Gala red carpet that I think either are super shoppable right now that we all can embrace, or are trends that I think we'll be seeing really soon on websites we can shop. So yes, if you're not familiar with the Met Gala, it normally happens on the first Monday of May, except for 2021 when we had one in September due to COVID rescheduling. It's a gala that happens the first Monday in May to raise money for the Costume Institute at the Met in New York City. I really love talking about the Met Gala and looking at all the looks. I know so many people don't enjoy ogling at celebrities wearing designer clothes, but it's just something I really love to do. It's something a lot of my friends really like to do, and I just think it's just really fun to me, point blank period. We don't have to get any deeper than that. One reason why I really wanted to talk about the trends I noticed on the Met Gala red carpet is because even if these celebrities aren't following the theme, it's really great publicity and exposure for all these big designer brands to show off their new collections, or similarly their ethos and their new brand message. So that's why I'm talking to you today, and that's why I still think this video, it could still be seen as relevant. If you follow me on Instagram, you might be familiar with these, but I know a lot of you don't follow me on Instagram, and I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on these, so let's go. I will be referencing my own Instagram story for this video. The first trend that I noticed on the red carpet is easily feathers. I noticed it with a lot of people, like Chloe Kim. She was wearing Giambattista Valli Haute Couture, Lily Allen in Chanel, Ashley Park and Atelier Prabal Garang, and Nicola Colin in Richard Quinn. I've talked about feathers on this channel before, and so you know I love a feather. I think feathers are a really fun and great texture, but personally for me, I would never wear them just because I'm a girly who does not like to do laundry too often or go to a dry cleaner, which I think you would have to go to in order to keep feathers very pristine and clean. I've seen a lot of those feathery tops. The next trend that I noticed on the red carpet were embellishments. I saw this with Conan Gray wearing Valentino, Naomi Campbell wearing Burberry, Man Rios wearing Moschino, and Casey Musgraves wearing Prada, just to name a few. And honestly, when I saw this trend, it really reminded me of the embellished J. Crew sweaters that were really huge when I was in high school. And because I think there are so many trending aesthetics like equestrian chic, coastal grandmother chic, or even just wasp chic is becoming super mainstream, I think that we will start to see embellishments once again on clothing. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I really hope to see designers kind of taking embellishments into new funky territory. I know it's not an embellishment, but I always think of this balloon dress specifically that I saw Emma Corrin wear on a red carpet earlier this year. I just think the idea of having elements of a print or something literally jutting out at you and being 3D and having being able, I don't know, not being able to touch, what's it called? And I don't know, just having fashion feel more real is something that I think is super interesting. And so I definitely think we will be seeing that coming down the pipeline very soon. Hopefully not just in the J. Crew embellishments, but maybe in more fantastical and creative ways as well. Someone that I also think really embodies this trend that I'm noticing is Myra on TikTok. You might know her. She has the computer bathroom, and she's always finding ways to incorporate things like ribbons, but also things like keyboards into the outfit she's wearing. I think we're going to start seeing that become a huge styling tool in the coming months and potentially the next few years. The next trend that I noticed I called suited. Basically, this category is just taking the elements of a suit and putting it into a dress, or in some fashion of a dress and a skirt. So I noticed this with Kate Moss in Burberry, Eva Chen wearing Peter Doe, Christine Baranski wearing Tom Brown, and Emma Corrin wearing Miu Miu. I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but I really do think blazer dresses are going to be coming back. Earlier this year, a lot of millennials were talking about the horror of like wearing business casual to the club, or like how the Vogues, the 17 magazines, and like the Lucky magazines of their time were convincing them that you really had to figure out how to transition a day look into a night look when you were going out from work to the club. And I really just feel like blazer dresses are going to be something we'll be seeing a lot more of, especially since, again, I feel like that also falls under the veil of like equestrian chic, Blair Waldorf chic. Like, I also think with like the popularity of the waistcoat and the vest in the past couple of years, we're just gonna be wearing blazers and vests to the club or to the bars, and we're all just gonna have to deal with that. If you don't like it, you don't have to wear it, but I feel like it's definitely gonna be something you're gonna see a lot of, or at least continue to see. This is definitely a trend that's already shoppable. I always think of like the Matilda Jerf girly. They're the ones wearing the blazers to the club, and I think we're gonna be seeing that for a while. The next category is the corset, of course, and some notable women that I saw rocking this were Maisie Williams in Tom Brown, Billie Eilish in Gucci, Precious Lee in Altuzarra, and Paloma Elsesser wearing Coach. The corset is such a shoppable thing. I don't think it's really gone out of style like ever since I've become like an actual adult. I always joke about the Fashion Nova-ification of the corset on my Instagram, but that's not a bad thing. I just think it means that corsets and kind of like underwear materials have been super accessible for a really long time. And obviously corsets really went along with the Met Gala theme, but I also think it's something that, similarly to like the blazer in the club, it's definitely going to be one piece that I think becomes synonymous with millennial and Gen Z women going out. It's just going to be our go-to going out wear. We're going to look back on this era in like 10 years and be like, why were we suffocating ourselves and wearing shapewear to get a beer, you know? Another person that I really liked in this was Sydney Sweeney as well, and she was wearing Tory Burch. I also mentioned this on my Instagram, but I also feel like overall, when I was looking at Met Gala coverage, the one designer that really constantly impressed me throughout the night was Tory Burch, and I feel like that brand is going to be getting a similar resurgence to Coach. You know how Coach is cool now, Coach is like the thing. I think Tory Burch is going to be the next one. I think for me, I always associated Tory Burch with like the super preppy girls in my grade. I always think of like their ballet flats and sandals with their huge insignia, but I think Tory Burch might be the one, like maybe in like 2-3 years, it's gonna be the it brand. And honestly, the only thing that's giving me that energy is what I saw in the Met Gala. And then I literally went to the mall the other day and I was like, oh my god, this bag is so cute. Oh my god, it's Tory Burch? Wow. So that's my prediction. The next trend that I noticed on the runway is a color trend, and it is obviously pink. When I was watching the Met Gala, I know that the one designer everyone was calling out when they were talking about this hot pink color was Valentino, because Valentino had dressed celebrities like Glenn Close, Sebastian Stan, and Jenna Ortega in this hot pink color, a color we've seen before. I'm here to tell you that it's not just that designer who's really pushing this color. A few videos ago, I did mention that Jacques Mus had this on their runway as well, but a few other people that I noticed on the Met Gala red carpet wearing this color was Anouk Yai in Michael Kors collection, and then Kiki Lane and Denis Benton, who are both in Atelier Prabal Garang. And I don't know, I love this color. This color just screams happiness to me. I've mentioned it before on this channel and on my Instagram, but this is like my color obsession. So I am a bit biased, and I am trying to incorporate this color into like as many pieces as I can this summer. I know people compare this time a lot to the Roaring 20s in terms of like excess and partying and just like the ethos of the time, but I really think that in fashion, there are so many ways you can express this kind of carefree glamour in a way. And I think one way is definitely through bright colors. So you don't always have to be someone who's wearing a million kinds of textures or different kinds of prints. You can just wear a bold color and really stand out. Speaking of colors, the next trend that I also mentioned was blue on the red carpet. I saw it in Denai Guerrera in Head of State, Anita in Moschino, as well as Kid Cudi in Kenzo, Tiana Taylor and Iris Van Herpen, and Kwana Chasing Horse in Atelier Prabal Garang. If you don't like the really hot pink, there's always like cobalt blue and those kinds of shades. I feel like the color blue has been spoiled by like cop propaganda to me personally. but I do love this color like in this context. I am also like thinking of like the gender binary of like pink and blue trending in the same summer. Interesting. Food for thought. But that's all I gotta say. The next trend that I noticed on the Met Gala carpet was cutouts. If you've been on this channel, if you've seen my most watched video ever as of today, I talk about trends I hate. And one trend I really hated for a very long time was cutouts. And I noticed a lot of cutouts on the Met Gala carpet. We had Tommy Dorfman wearing Christopher Kane, Kaya Gerber wearing Alexander McQueen, and then Megan Thee Stallion and Iris Law both in Moschino, as well as Camille Mendes in Ami Paris. One reason why I didn't like cutouts when it first came out around this time last year is because the placement of the cutouts really was just not interesting to me, and I felt like the only way that these designers made it look interesting was by putting it on a thin body. But now we're starting to see more cutouts in more body universal ways and also in more interesting ways, in my opinion. I also get flashbacks to when we used to wear cold shoulder tops when I was in high school, and I hated that, even though I probably did wear it, but it also gives me that energy. So I think cutouts are good when they're done well, and I can never even tell when they're done well. It's just a gut instinct when I see it. But this is definitely a super shoppable trend that I think we're all gonna see for a very long time. The next one that I have is the maxi skirt. So this is actually a trend that I also noticed on the Oscar red carpet, which you can see that highlight if you go on my Instagram. But people on the carpet who were embracing this look include Emma Chamberlain in Louis Vuitton, Maggie Rogers in Chanel, Simone Ashley in Moschino, and I just put her in here, but Sky Ferreira in Connor Ives, even though she's wearing a dress. It's fine, it was a long dress. But also Normani and Christian Siriano. I don't remember where I heard this take on the maxi skirt. I don't know if it was like on TikTok, on YouTube, but I remember hearing a creator talk about how maxi skirts are their favorite thing to style because the shape and the length of it really easily offsets the look of like a really tiny crop top or a really tight top. And I thought that was such an interesting take on it. Because it's like the beginning of spring and summer right now, I think we're gonna start seeing maxi skirts rolling out right now. I can definitely see it in like the stretchy cotton kind of material, but also in a variety of other ways. I think it's definitely going to be something that will become a big trend for this summer specifically, and definitely carry on into next year. I also feel like the maxi skirt is a great skirt to style all year round. So definitely if you are into this trend, that it definitely has longevity in my opinion. And then the last trend that I noticed on the Met Gala red carpet is what I call, can you see my underwear? Corsets definitely fall under this category of underwear as outerwear. Well, I noticed wearing this trend on the Met Gala carpet where Louisa Jacobson in Schiaparelli, I don't know if I said that right, Bella Hadid in Burberry, Kerry Washington in Tory Burch, and Lizzo in Tom Brown. One thing that I really love for both like spring and summertime for festival fashion is wearing like a really high-waisted brief underneath a super sheer dress. I always thought that look was so fun and is definitely something that anyone can embrace at any price point really. And it's definitely a styling look that I think has become synonymous with spring and summer. It's definitely something that's shoppable right now. And I think it's also a great one that you can make your own because you can choose the kind of underwear or the kind of undergarments that you're wearing and showing off. I feel like the creative options there are pretty endless, and that's why I really like it as well. So the last trend I want to mention is the one that I think we all need to be more aware of, and that is greenwashing. We're on Wikipedia. Here's the definition on Wikipedia. Greenwashing, also called green sheen, is the form of marketing spin in which green PR and green marketing are deceptively used to persuade the public that an organization's products, aims, and policies are environmentally friendly. I saw this a lot on the red carpet through Billie Eilish brand Gucci, and she talked a lot about how all the materials used to make her dress were dead stock Gucci fabric, and all of her jewelry was vintage. We also saw this with Louis Vuitton, who styled all of their clients in looks that were featured either in Louis Vuitton shows of years past, or Emma Stone, who rewore a dress that Nicolas Ghesquier made for her wedding a few years ago. And I just think that we should all be way more in tune to these conversations of what is actually sustainable, because truly the most sustainable form of shopping is actually not buying anything at all. Sometimes I just find these stories and these like comments to be very hollow. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing that Billie Eilish is really focused on sustainability when her brother, and I'm pretty sure she, took a private jet from Los Angeles to Coachella. yeah, it just feels really disingenuous. No hate to them. Obviously, they have their agendas to push, and I just think we all, like, as consumers, as people who love fashion, as people who love to wear clothes, I think we need to be aware when this greenwashing is happening. And we can also see this in the way that we shop these days, like at more affordable, normal people price points. On the higher end of that normal people price point, we have Reformation, which is like this brand that has kind of gained notoriety, especially for all like the cool girls of the world. You know, you have to wonder, like, how sustainable can a brand be if they are being stocked in all the major like department stores around the world, or even fast fashion brands like Zara and H&M. I've been seeing so many H&M campaigns featuring influencers that I really look up to and that I really think are cool, flaunting H&M's quote-unquote sustainability practice, which is hard to believe when you know how much waste H&M actually produces, or even just the way that thrifting is always talked about these days as if there's no consequence to thrifting, when in reality, over consuming anywhere is not good for the environment. Anyways, that's all for this video, and I hope to see you all for the next one. Bye!